everyone, I'm Trent Keith with Keith Realty, back with our weekly podcast. We do all types of social media videos. We do YouTube, Facebook, we do the regular podcast, we do Rumble, on all different platforms. And what I do is I share a few sports news stories, I answer questions that we have, and then I end with an ending quote. So if you have not watched our Keith Realty show, please tune in and you can make a comment about any type of realty question you would like to ask. So feel free to post a question that would help you with your real estate transaction, and I will answer them the next time I do a video. So we're going to get started today with our sports stories. The Indiana Hoosiers basketball team got beat again last night. They are on a 4-game skid. They're struggling right now. It's not looking too good for the NCAA tournament. We will see what happens. A lot of the teams in college have not been playing too well this year, but we had high hopes for the Indiana Hoosiers, and it's starting to fade a little bit. Also, the Indiana Pacers, they started out the year pretty decent, had a big trade. They did get a different coach. And then all of a sudden, they've started struggling also. So they're below 500, just like the Indiana Hoosiers are below 500. So our state teams are struggling right now. Anyway, the Pacers and the Hoosiers are. So we'll see what happens to finish out the seasons. But the Pacers and the Indiana Hoosiers have not been winning too many lately, unfortunately. Anyway, I'm going to move on to our real estate questions for the day. We actually have, looks like 5 questions. I'm going to answer each one of them. Again, if you have not watched our videos, please post any type of real estate question you have, and I would be glad to answer those. We actually get a lot of the same questions over and over again, and that's okay. We want to make it as simple as possible for people. So even if you think you've heard the question before and you don't remember what the answer was, don't hesitate to post it again. I will answer each question that comes through, so that's no big deal. All right, our first question: how do I know how much my home is worth? Okay, what this amounts to is there's a few different ways you can do that. One way is you can hire an appraiser. An appraiser is someone who that's what they do. They go out, usually for banks and mortgage companies, and they will come up with a figure of what your property is worth according to everything that's sold in your area that is comparable to your house. That actually costs money. You can hire someone to do that up front, or you can wait until you have an accepted offer and the buyer is getting a loan from someone, and that lending company usually requires them to get an appraiser out to make sure the property is worth what they are loaning on that property. So that can happen. Or you can talk to someone like us here at Keith Realty. We can come out and look at your property. We can run comparables, and then we can tell you an average of what homes that are similar to yours have sold for. Now, it's not the same as an appraisal. An appraisal is something that you pay for, and that is a professional that does that for a living. We are realtors, so we buy and sell properties for people, and we do not guarantee what your place is worth, but we run comparables on everything in your area, and we can tell you what is sold and kind of give you a ballpark figure of what it's worth. That usually works just fine for selling a piece of property. But if you want an exact figure from an appraiser, you can pay to do that also. So it's totally up to you. You can wait until you're working through the process of an offer on your home, and then the bank or lender will more than likely get that done. You can pay for it up front and just find out what the appraiser says your place is worth, or you can work with us and we can give you market analysis of the type of properties that are similar, like in kind, to what you have, and give you a ballpark of what you're looking at. So that's the different ways you find out what your property is worth. The next question, how long does closing take the day of? So once you get into a closing room and we're signing all the documents and finishing everything up on that deal, usually what you want to figure is 1 hour. Now, there are very few, but sometimes situations where it takes a little longer than that. Normally it's because something comes up and it just takes a little bit longer than that hour. But normally you can plan on an hour should cover you. It's not uncommon to be done in a half hour, 45 minutes, but the best thing to do is just schedule for 1 hour and you should be in good shape. So just figure a full hour and that will get things wrapped up. Okay, the next question. Who should I talk to about a home mortgage? Okay, this is one we've had quite often also, and this is one of those things that you might want to do some checking. What it amounts to is if you have a bank that you deal with and you have your accounts through, whether it be checking accounts, saving accounts, CDs, anything like that that you have, that bank more than likely will lend on homes. So you might want to talk to them and see what they have to say. Also, you can use just mortgage companies that all they do is they lend on homes or properties. Certain mortgage companies specialize in certain areas. Maybe they're just on residential housing. Maybe they specialize in farm ground, or maybe they specialize in commercial type property. So it depends on what type of mortgage company it is, but a lot of people deal with mortgage companies to get their loan also. So what I usually tell my clients is if you have a good relationship with your bank that you use, I would ask them some questions. What you want to do is you want to compare the type of loan you can get through them to what the interest rate on that loan would be. And then vice versa. You can talk to a mortgage company, find out what type of loan they'd be willing to do, and find out what their interest rate would be on that loan. The other thing you want to check out is all of their costs that are wrapped up into your closing. So every lender has certain costs that get included into your closing. You want to find out what those are because it can vary from one place to another, and you want to make sure that it is comparable to what you were expecting. So those are the things to check into, but I'd say start with your bank and check out the nearest mortgage company that you like and see which one of those would work best for you and your situation. Okay, next question. Number 4, what season does real estate get the busiest? Okay, I think it's like everything. Real estate gets the busiest when the weather is good. So if the sun's shining and it's warm, that's more than likely when you're going to be the busiest. But the last few years, we haven't had that much slowdown in real estate. So with everything, when the weather's nice, people want to get out and do things, look at homes, property, whatever be the case. And when it's cold and snowy or rainy, they usually don't want to do it as much. So I would say during the summer, spring is usually when it starts kicking off. Summer is the busiest, and then may fade a little bit in the fall. But we have not had much of a slow time with real estate for a few years now. So that kind of gives you an idea. Number 5, the last question. How fast will Keith Realty get my place listed? As fast as you want. It's not uncommon at all for us to come look at your place, do a market analysis, and list it either that same day or the following day. That's not a problem at all. We can do that. If you want us to come do a market analysis and give you a week to get ready, that's fine also. If you say, no, I need this listed today, we can work it out to where we come out look at everything, take measurements, pictures, and list it the same day if that's what we need to do. So we are flexible to work with your schedule and do what you need to do. That's not a problem at all. But once you list your property, if you list it in the range that places have been selling similar to yours, be ready to have people looking at it, because there's a lot of people looking for property and there's not a lot of property available right now. So just be ready for some action and hopefully some offers fairly quickly. Okay, that was my last question for today. We do not have any highlighted listings today. What I do with this is when we have a new property that we've listed since my last video, I try to put it on, give you some details on that, but we do not have any right now since I done my last video. So if you're wanting to look at properties, go to Keith Realty, check those out. We are in Spencer, Indiana. Check out the properties we have, and you can actually search all different types of properties, even with other agencies, and we'll be glad to help you with any of those. That's not a problem at all. Now, my ending quote for the day. This is by Rohn. If you don't change what you're doing today, all of your tomorrows will look like yesterday. That's something to think about. I thought that was pretty interesting. So that was by Rohn. Again, if this is the first time you've watched one of our videos here at Keith Realty, I am Trent Keith, and I come on each week and try to answer any questions you may have. So feel free to post a question, text us a question, email us a question, whatever you want to do, and I will try to get that answered on the next video. So if you have anything you would like to discuss about real estate, please give us a call here at Keith Realty, and we will be glad to help you with that. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a great week.